Welcome back, Pom Pom fam. The raw food industry for animals is becoming very popular, and a lot of guardians are thinking about switching to raw food. Most people are looking for the simplest and easiest way to feed raw, especially those who are beginners. At this stage, most guardians will be looking at commercial raw food companies on the internet or local stores that they can order from. But I'd like to share with you what I wish I knew before ordering from commercial raw food companies so that you can make informed decisions. Remember to look at the description for awesome resources on raw dog food. Alright, so let's talk about the 3 red flags with commercial raw dog food. Number 1. Many commercial raw dog food companies include synthetic vitamins and minerals to comply with the AAFCO guidelines. The goal of the AAFCO is to ensure that pet foods are safe and nutritionally adequate for our animal companions as well as livestock feeds. That is why there is a minimum and maximum nutrient level that manufacturers have to comply with. The issue arises because the AAFCO does not test pet food samples to ensure that the labels comply with the guidelines, nor do they test raw foods. The responsibility of whether the raw food is up to the AAFCO standard lies in the hands of the manufacturer itself. Therefore, whether the raw food is up to the AAFCO standard or not can never be truly verified because there is no regulatory authority to manage it. Furthermore, the guidelines are directed towards substandard materials used in industrial pet food as opposed to raw food. Even the AAFCO stated that its standard does not apply to whole raw foods, but more so it is a standard for industrial pet food. If the guidelines are more directed towards industrial pet food such as kibble and wet food, then truly even the AAFCO does not know what the biologically optimal levels of vitamins and minerals are for our animal companions. Number 2. A lot of commercial raw food companies choose the conventional route to raise and feed their animals, which means that the animals are being fed similar or the same conventional feed as those raised in the animal food industry. These feeds are not a species appropriate diet for the particular animal being raised, which means these animals are ingesting toxins and waste into their system to fatten them up. The toxins and waste are stored into the tissues of the animals, which gets fed to our animal companions. Fats are usually not trimmed or removed on ground meat, as the manufacturers typically grind up the whole prey animal. Food labels claim that the fat percentage is less than 20%, but it's questionable because the skin of poultry is more than 50% fat by calorie, and that's not even including the fat stored in the tissues. When we reached out to one of the popular commercial raw food companies named We Feed Raw, we asked how the animals were being raised and what they actually eat. We received an email stating that their poultry were conventionally raised, but there were other products that were pasture raised and grass fed, while other products were partially grass fed but not grass finished. Their recipes are approximately 80% muscle meat plus associated tissue and fat, organ meat, and fresh, finely ground bone. So not all animals are being conventionally raised, but that's where it's important for you as a dog guardian to be responsible and get more information from commercial raw food companies. If you enjoyed the video so far, remember to subscribe and like. Number 3. There are plenty of commercial raw food companies that like to mix multiple ingredients in their commercial grinds to make a complete and balanced meal. An example is K9 Cravings raw dog food and Primal Pet Foods, which can be found at local pet stores. The issue here is that dogs have one digestive chamber, which is meant to digest one type of food at a time. In other words, dogs are meant to eat mono meals because the digestive tract can work efficiently without stress. When vegetables, fruits, powders, and other ingredients are mixed into the grind along with raw meat, the digestive system is required to work excessively harder. Not only will this be an issue, but when foods get mixed together unpleasantly in the digestive system and digest at different rates, putrefaction occurs, which means the food begins rotting in the digestive tract. Furthermore, vegetables have a much more complex structure than raw meat and fruits. Dogs' bodies are meant to break down fruits and meat easily, while raw vegetables require more time and energy because of complex carbohydrates and starch. That is why so many people recommend pureeing the vegetables before feeding it to dogs because it requires less energy to break down the proteins, vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, and so on. In all, one of the main downsides of commercial raw food is that the control is not in our hands. It is in the hands of someone else who may or may not be educated about our animal companions' nutritional needs. However, that does not mean that it should be completely disregarded. If you are someone who has absolutely no time or energy to invest in creating a raw food meal at home for your animal companion, commercial raw food still is a much better option than wet food and kibble. The point is to do your best for your animal companion and continuously research because that's where you learn more. Remember to check out the description for more resources to help you become educated in raw food for dogs. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next Thursday. The Pom Pom Bros love you.